Welcome to Deep Thought. Fighting false beliefs can be painful. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. There was I ain't going to say what it was, but there was a certain belief I had. Apparently it was a false belief that I had for years, decades. And then I had somebody who, in a very honest way, pointed out that it was a false belief. It forced me to think about some things, right? It was a young lady. She was very, very direct, and it got me to thinking. I was like, man, wait a minute, and I was like, oh shit. I'm laughing about it now, but when I had to face that belief, I ain't going to lie, it was painful. It was painful. And it was actually a false belief. I mean, the truth is actually very pleasant, extremely pleasant. But I had an opposite belief that didn't reflect this truth. And I'm going to tell you what. Going through that, I actually felt pain. I was like, oh my goodness. See, understand something about false beliefs. It actually affects your body. Because when you go through life, remember, your body isn't independent. Your mind, your beliefs, your thought patterns can affect even the way you walk, how you look, because it affects if you have a certain belief about something. It can affect how you put on weight, how you eat, how you interact with people. But it does affect your very being. It affects your being on a physical level. That's why when people have heart attacks, right? A lot of times people say, oh, it's some genetic or it was some food they ate. No, when people have heart attacks, when they have strokes, anything like that, usually there was something psychological that happened first. There was something psychological that happened, and then everything else came in. Now, they might say, well, you're eating too much of this certain type of food or something like that, but that just contributes to it. But it comes down to like the belief someone had. Like I've always said, if you shatter somebody's false belief, you can actually kill them. You can actually kill them, and fighting that can be painful. Even if the truth is like pleasant, the truth could be very pleasant, but you fight it because remember your body is you used to move in a certain way. You might be used to going through life holding your head down and walking with a slump, walking slowly because you're unsure of yourself. And even a change, even though it would be a positive change to fight the beliefs that cause that, your body's still used to it. Your body, seriously, you try to stand up or you try to walk faster, you can't do it. Your body ain't used to it. Or you try to hold your back up and you try to really extend yourself. It's difficult because you're so used to walking slumped over. And you try to hold your head up. Shoot, it could even hurt your neck or something because you're so used to keeping your head down that when you start try to walk with your head up, it hurts. And that's when the false belief is good. Imagine if you the other way. Imagine you had a certain false belief and you walking through life confidently. You like, yeah, I'm the bomb. You walking with your back straight, extended, you looking everything, you talking with power, but then somebody hits you. You ever seen that? You hit somebody with some hard truth that they can't refute, and how they go into depression. That's a lot of people's depression when they realize the truth. They were going through their whole life. I've seen that with so many people. Even some people I've known for years. I can remember. I honestly, I know a lot of people going through some type of depression. And I'll be looking at them like, wow, I remember years ago you were just so confident in everything. But they were under a false belief. That's how deep. But fighting it is because a false belief permeates everything. You got the body and everything, but it's not independent of the mind. It's not independent of the mind. When you walk in everything, yeah, it seems instinctual, but you walking according to what your beliefs are. You holding yourself to your beliefs. Like, I'm gonna tell you something deep. I'm gonna tell you, and this is kind of a racial thing. This is when I first noticed it, right? There was years ago, I met this guy. He was a brother, black man, and I was watching him move about. And I said, he don't move like other black men, and he didn't carry himself. And then, as I got to know him, this was a black man who he had a zero victim mentality. He had come from old money. When I say old money, probably black ancestors that owned black slaves money, old money. And every way he carried it, even how he walked, how he talked, how he looked at people, how he spoke, was just in a power. And at first I couldn't put my finger. I said, damn, what's different about him? And then that's when I started thinking about some things. I looked at him, then looked at how other men were walking. And one thing, he didn't walk in a subservient manner at all. Because there's and this is something deeper maybe to get into another conversation. At that time, let's just say Ron was way more militant, way more publicly militant, right? So, I would pay attention to those things. I was like, well, wait a minute. He walking like he has like zero fear of the environment. And then what I noticed was like you had many black men who walked around like they were holding themselves back. They didn't want to appear too dangerous or wild or anything like that. Unfortunately, I didn't realize, but that's how that same dude actually said the same thing to me. He said, yeah, you walk different. That same very dude. Because he didn't even think I was a regular, brother. He was like, are you a Muslim? Because a lot of people when I was younger used to think I was a member of the Nation of Islam, just how I walked and talked. So, very few people a lot of people don't even take me for an American. That's how I walk to talk. That's another thing too, but that's how deep it is. In fact, that's another conversation. that's a deep one. I got to think about how to approach that. But seriously, even now, I'm not taken for like a regular African American. Even now, people ask me what country I'm from. It never fails. Never fails. At my cleaners, I had the Asian lady. She thought I was from Africa. Born in Africa. So the thing is, that's how deep it is. It affects how you walk, your belief system, what's on your mind, how you're cultivated. So fighting those things, getting back on the main subject. And incidentally, even there when y'all know how I do, I go on tangents, but that's still related to it. That's how deep it is. So if you fight that, getting through that, man, that is pain. That can be painful. I mean, because how you walk, everything, because you get used to it. You might feel some pain in your joints or something, or you might even get sick. A lot of times when people get sick, it's from stress. And that stress will come when, you going against what your normal plan is. So it can be painful. But you know what? Despite that, you have to. You have no choice. When you are presented with truth, when you feel it down in your spirit, you're going to want to change. But you might have to take baby steps. But you're going to go through that pain. But see, here's the thing. Once you get through that pain, it could feel like paradise. It's like you walking lighter. Like I remember this one young lady, right? And it's someone I worked with at this gym. And I remember when I would see her all the time, she had a certain hardness to her. And, I'll just say it was difficult for us to get along at first. But I remember I saw her one day. She was just, her whole walk, demeanor, and everything was just lighter. And I remember how she, exactly word for word what she said. She said, Rom, I let a lot of shit go. I just let a lot of shit go. And you could see it in her, Now, I don't know how much pain she went through. I don't know how much pain she had to go through. But the thing is, Yes, it can be painful, but once you get through it, boom, it feels great. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Keep rising and transforming, everybody. Peace.